Good afternoon and welcome along to Destination Wellbeing. My guest this afternoon is Brenda Fearon, and Brenda and I are here to chat a bit about I suppose exercise, healthy well-being, achieving perfect weight, all of those elements that as we come into springtime we start to notice and start to hopefully make our changes for the summer holidays. Just a reminder, viewers, and this afternoon, that anything that Brenda and I will be talking about will be based on our own opinion. So before you begin any exercise or diet or weight loss plan, the first protocol is obviously to check with your doctor and make sure that, especially if it's not a normal routine, that you're following and that it's any drastic changes. So thanks a million for joining me this afternoon, Brenda.
Thank you for inviting me. It's great.
Welcome. And we'll also mention, Brenda, in Curves will have a food drive coming up for the month of March, isn't it? The whole month of March.
Yeah. It's like we were talking already there about, we're getting into the sort of springtime. We're thinking of getting going and motivated again. And this is a great time that we find that we get people involved in the exercise, in the food, but, getting them all together as a community.
Yeah.
And
I think that's very much one of the things that I've always found about Curves is that it becomes a community of women, and that there's a support there as well for people who are less fortunate. And we were chatting about the food bank this year, and I think it's often important to remember that bit, that whenever we've got ourselves in a place in our own lives where we have quite an affluent society, really, but that there are people very local, that we don't have to look too far away. I mean, it doesn't have to be even outside of our own town to realise that people
every year,
are
we try to make sure that we are keeping it within the town, like Newry and Mourne area, that when we're doing our food collection, because we do different charity things throughout the year, but our food collection certainly goes back to the people of Newry, so it's definitely kept local.
Yeah, it's very that important, but because often we look to, whenever we are contributing to charities, and we realise that a lot of it is going out of town, and whilst there are really lots of needy causes, and I suppose even though there might be people struggling at home here in third world countries and things like that, there
certainly is, but there's a lot going on our own doorstep that we don't realise too until you look into these charities.
Oblivious to.
And
I know you'll be in with Rowan on Thursday morning or Friday morning chatting a wee bit more about that as well.
So great,
but you've launched in Curves, you've recently launched a new
program. It's kind of sort of revived a wee bit. Curves is about this 10 years, and we've always done the exercise, we've done the motivation, as in when you're there we're helping you out to try to keep you going, and we've give you ideas on food, etc. But now it's a full package. It's all in under one roof, that you have the fitness, the meal plans and the coaching as all part of your programme. So it's working well.
Which is a big angle, because there's more to, I think a lot of the time when we're looking at weight, and I know with my own journey around weight, I more or less knew what I needed to eat, and I knew that I needed to exercise.
We know.
Which is a pretty, we all know that what goes in needs to be burnt up and go out. But there's some part of us sometimes that just doesn't have the right motivation for that element, and the support and the coaching and the
to keep it going as well. Like so many people, are ladies we work with, they're great for a week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks and a month, but when it goes past that, it's too hard. So this new plan I had some stay on that. Anybody that we've had on it, we launched it in November, sort of soft launch within our ladies that were members, and now it's open to the general public. Anybody can come in and join on to it from January, but everybody that's has started it is still doing it. Nobody's fallen off at a month's time. They've kept it going, because it's just a new way of thinking about what you're eating, how much exercise you need to do, and again, keeping motivated every week.
I think as well we've got this idea of when I'm working one-to-one with this Be Balanced and coaching people through on programs like that, you've got this idea, the stereotype that a diet, I'm on a diet. And yet a diet probably should, for long-term results and long-term health and well-being, which is ultimately, while sometimes we might want short-term solutions to a long-term problem, it's the longer-term changes that are lasting and that you get the real benefits and the results from. And often you'll find people thinking, oh, I'm on a diet, whereas for me a diet should be what you eat every day. That's your diet. Your diet is what you're taking into your body, rather than the short-term plan of a low-fat diet or a low-calorie diet.
But it's that scary word that people think, oh, that's change, and that's something I can't do, I can't diet, where your diet is your everyday taken in, you know. But it's the word that people go against. They think they're on a diet, they think, you know, it's
there's an
problem.
association even with deprivation
Yeah,
straight away.
totally.
Diet as opposed to my diet is healthy.
Yeah.
And the food that I'm eating or the meals that I'm taking in are healthy and help me to sustain a healthy body. And then we know that a healthy body plays a huge part
Massive
in having
part,
a healthy mind as well. So we've got the balance between the mental and the physical
very
well-being.
important, that the balance between, you know, the physical and the mental, definitely. But it's how you think of it again. It is, you know, with our plan, there's loads of options. There's nearly too many options in some instances, but people don't feel they're on the diet. You know, they know that they can eat breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. There's so many options there that they're not afraid of it so much. You know, they can't believe they're allowed to have that much. So it takes them away from that whole afraid of it.
Well, it's education really is key, and changing our words for me are so powerful. I just think the association with words, like even whenever I'm working with some of the young girls that I would be working with, and I said to them, you know, one of just the other day I was with a group and they were talking about love, you know, loving yourself.
Yeah.
And the connotations and the association that they had with loving themselves was so negative.
Really?
That they were instantly thinking, well, yeah, but sure, your woman loves herself, or she thinks she's great, or if you love yourself, you must think you're better than everybody else, and all of those such negative association with the words loving ourselves, because we've seen it as a bit of a, I suppose, a bit
smart,
of a slag over even ourselves. Like I remember growing up, you would have been at school and you would have been saying, okay, but sure, look at your woman, she loved herself. Yeah. And all she needed to do was to get the term love herself was have her hair and her makeup done properly, or whatever.
Neat and tidy.
Look neat and tidy. And then there was other people that took it to the extreme. But that healthy respect for yourself is something that I think we seem to be missing. And certainly from a journey in health and well-being and achieving your correct weight and your healthy weight for you,
and
so that you're feeling good.
place for you. You know, that's what it's about.
Yeah, because what's right for one person can be so wrong.
You know, we will never tell people they should be a certain weight or a certain size. Yeah. That just doesn't happen in curves. You know, it's where you feel most comfortable at and where you want to go to and what more you want to do. Somebody can set a goal this week of losing a stone and next week decides she only wants to 3 or 4 pounds off because she feels better already, you know. So it's definitely about how you feel and how comfortable you feel.
And it's about the fitness element and how healthy your body is, because we all know that thin never equals healthy and well. Doesn't necessarily, the two don't have to run side by side. Yeah. Somebody can be very thin and very unhealthy, or what would be considered overweight, having a high BMI or whatever, but yet be healthy in all aspects, other aspects. So it's allowing us to get that balance and to really strive for health and well-being.
It is, and it's overall conditioning. You know, it's not being the very best of anything. It's overall being good. And curves is kind of simple because it's the 30 minutes is all that people are striving, so they're getting their bit of exercise in every day, they're getting their information and their food, and it's all packed into the busy lifestyle that, you know, our ladies generally have.
You know? A lot. And it's, you know, it's much more than, as we were touching on there, much more than just about losing weight, really. You've got the strengthening, which I know is a big part of the curves model. It's a big part of it. It's
something that people don't really think so much about. Men would probably relate to it more so, because we're women only, they don't get it. You know, when you're stronger of yourself, you're healthier already. You know, if things are in your life, you know, are in the genes like arthritis or osteoporosis, you know, any of them sort of things could be coming your way. So if your muscles are stronger, your body's better able to deal with it. But the other side of it is, and a more of a vanity side of it is, you know, when you're stronger, if you have stronger muscles, you have a better metabolism. Your body works more effectively. You know, so that's the thing that curves helps.
And
and you feel better in your shape and look better in your shape. You know, we have ladies that all sizes, you know, 16, 18, 20, but they have a great shape for their sizes. And that's the difference as well, because their muscles are lean and toned and strong.
And then from the perspective of obviously strong stomach muscles and things like that will obviously allow you to look slimmer,
stand taller,
but it's also
straighter.
helping your back. Where so many people, I mean, through reflexology, so many women that I would see have lower back problems from
massive
stiletto heels
Yeah.
and all of that. But I think a lot of that is because we rely on our stomach.
Yeah.
We don't rely. We rely on our back more than we rely on our stomach and our posture.
To pull,
the posture's out then. So,
but as you
that
say,
has its
even the
knock-on
posture,
effect.
like even just walking straight and tall and confident in that sense makes a massive difference to how you are.
Yeah, and how you fit, and bringing back that confidence. So when you're strong, again, we draw the link between the physical strength and the mental strength. When you feel physically strong, then you're more likely to, it's going to help you to feel mentally stronger. And even from a mental well-being perspective, on a day when life maybe isn't going so good, just the idea of putting your shoulders back, walking tall and sort of looking up rather than looking down has such a positive,
massive difference
impact on. And it also, I don't know if anybody's ever noticed it, but I notice on the days where you're wearing something maybe that you feel particularly good in, you feel so much better, you feel so much more confident in yourself, and people then start to notice that as well. So you've got that cycle of positivity.
It's a good cycle,
that's creating.
definitely.
So often we're caught up in negative cycles, but that for me is a positive cycle.
It is. You feel good and feel better in yourself, and you know this is why you need to dedicate a bit of time to a bit of exercise and watching your weight and feeling healthier, because it's everything to do with your body and mind. It's not just how you look, you know, out on a Saturday night or whatever. It's all day, every day how you feel.
And like even, you know, when you look, and we're talking about strength thing now, because our lifestyles have generally become so much more sedentary than what they were.
Massively.
Like, I mean, I remember Mummy talking about, like, right up until my granny died, and I think she was 76 maybe when she died, but she would have walked down the village. Granny lived in Bestwick, but she would have walked, which would have been a good half mile, probably walk, and walk back up carrying maybe groceries, a bag of potatoes, a couple of bags, you know, bag of sugar, whatever vegetables, whatever. But it was heavy enough shopping for a woman of that age to be carrying. And even now you would see older women carrying shopping about the town and things like that. Whereas I know my age, we're in the car, we just jump in and you
wouldn't
go.
dream of stopping at the shop unless we had the car, probably. Do you know?
So it's that idea that we probably need to dedicate more time to structured exercise because we're not getting it in our daily life.
With the new Curves Complete plan, you automatically get a pedometer, you know, that counts your steps.
Okay,
It's quite a basic one. It's just counting every step. There's no magic buttons on it or anything. But that all comes within the plan. I had it on there now. I clipped it off. So that you clip that on when you get up in the morning, and away it goes as you go. Now, I have ladies so competitive now at the moment that they're trying to do 1,000 steps per hour, etc. It's really fun, you know, within the club that we're watching them and doing them. But it's absolutely amazing how unactive you can be sometimes. 10,000 steps is what you should be doing a day, just to be healthy, not to be losing weight. You know?
Just to keep yourself motivated and moving. And so often we spend our time sitting down. Like
we definitely do, and in the car, and
you're seated all the time, and that has pressure on your legs, and it has pressure on your heart, and it is because you need to be moving to keep everything moving.
Definitely.
But I suppose that goes back, as you said, with the pedometer, it goes back to what gets measured gets done. And if you realise that you're not hitting your target maybe for today, depending on how competitive you are yourself, you maybe go for an extra walk in the evening rather than sitting down.
But it can be the small things, Joanne. It can be like, I have ladies that park at the corner of B&Q car park to go over the 5 ways to get their groceries and back again. You know, it's the small wee journeys that they're adding on that's making the difference. And these are the ladies that are getting fabulous results, because it's making sure that they're just generally more active. And like that, as I would always mention to them, to be sort of on their feet and slightly moving rather than sitting as the phone rings. Don't sit down and answer it. You know, stay up and keep moving slightly. All the small things that makes a difference.
That all works really well unless you live where I live, and if you move a centimetre you're cut off. Because I used to do that. I would have been on the phone and walking, but with signal issues, you move even your head sometimes and the call's gone. But it is those where we can work them in.
Because sometimes you could be on the phone chatting to a friend for 20 minutes without realising. So if you're constantly
even
moving a wee bit,
walk, done, and that's.
And if you said I'm going for a 20-minute walk, you think, oh, I don't have time for that, but it can be done.
You can, it's finding the time into and your time in the gym is one thing, but it's your activity rates.
Yeah, well, as I would have always said to the people, they come into me for a 30-minute workout. There's 23 and a half other hours in the day. I really don't know what they're doing. They could be literally sitting all day. That might be their occupation. They've no choice in that. Or they could be very active, and this night is a way of sort of tracking that and showing them and helping them realise that a wee bit more activity goes a long way.
And where you're lower down, as you say, even on one day, you can up it the next day.
Put it up a gear, definitely. It entices people to get out for a walk of a Sunday morning where they would have said that was their lazy day or whatever. So it does just show us all around that we need to be active. And
by nature, I suppose we are quite competitive people. Really, we like to know. So I suppose even for people who maybe aren't particularly gym fans and things like that, that's a useful tip.
Oh, absolutely. I would entice anybody to
encourage
get
everybody
them.
to get
I really do think they're good work.
Because it is, once we see, and I suppose it's not that you have to use it every day for the rest of your life or
not
anything
at all,
like that.
no.
But once you get into a pattern of it, you'll realise
you get to know what it takes. I know our workout is roughly 2,500 steps. I know roughly 4-mile walk is going to be about 5,000 steps. You know what I mean? You get to work out what is what, so you do fit it into your time.
What you're doing. From a motivation perspective, it's very important for us to have goals and to know where we're aiming, because
we have to.
If we just sort of say, oh yeah, well, I'm going to go for a walk. Well, a walk could be 3 minutes, or a walk could be
it could be
an hour to 3 hours. It's all relative to what.
Yeah, it is. You need to have some sort of goal in your mind, and we do pride ourselves in Curves in really setting goals with people, because it's what sometimes they need to get themselves started and get themselves motivated. It's all right us writing down numbers, but they need to know, okay, I'm going to do this amount of activity, or I'm going to eat this way for so many days or so many weeks. There has to be a time frame.
I'm going to make those changes into life so that they become. And the scientists tell us there is a bit of science behind. Well, there's obviously science behind all of it, but scientists will tell us that it takes 21 days to create new habits. Yeah. So if you stick with
something for 3 weeks,
3 weeks, you're pretty much you're going to have a new habit there, and you'll have broken any old habits. Really.
And this is why, Lent's only around the corner, but this is why people succeed during Lent. Yeah. The amount of people that can go off our own things for 6 weeks, no problem to them. They can do it year in, year out. It's because they set that goal. They know that time frame inside out. They know that's all they have to do it for, and they always succeed. Very few people that fall off, that do it year after year. So it is about setting a time and saying, I'm going to do this, and getting yourself past that wee habit stage, that 3 weeks. And
they tell me that, what is it, this day next week will be all on pancakes. So
Pancake Tuesday.
Pancake Tuesday next week. It'll be all flavours and lots of lemon and lots of sugar and Nutella and banana and all the treats. But that's the other side with any change or anything, is it's all about balance, really, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
And it's not beating yourself up, really.
No,
if you
have your treat. Absolutely, you have to have your treat. There's no plan that's going to work in the world without having your wee treats, because it's going to leave you craving it all the more. And on our Curves Complete plan, there is the wee options you can slot in here or there, that if you did fall off, what was it, and can we rectify it, you know?
And I think as well, though, over a period of time, and again speaking from experience myself, when I've committed to being healthy for my body and healthy for my mind, and connecting the two, and that actually what I would have considered a treat 4 or 5 years ago
is so much now.
It's not even on my radar. I wouldn't thank you for it. Not if you put 20 of them in front of me. I just physically would have no
you've got out of the way of
because I've decided that that is no longer a treat. But it's that progress that you move through, and I still have, of course, the things that for me are treats.
And everybody will be different. But you're right. If you do change your sort of way of looking at food at some stage, if something can click into gear with you and you realise, okay, I'm going to have less of this and more of this, you will progress to have more and more of the better.
Your attraction will be what's good for you, and that's your
It's again creating the habit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a new way of thinking, but I do think a lot of that comes back to why we're motivated. If we, whether it's giving up cigarettes, losing weight, whatever it is, if it's an obligation, if it's because we have to do it, we'll never get there. No. But when it becomes a choice that I'm doing this because I'm respecting my body and respecting myself, then
that's when you'll succeed.
That's the succeeding point. And that's the same with I suppose any goal that we go to set, we have to have.
You have to be there behind it 100%.
Yeah, and you have to have a reason as to why that's important to you. It's like even going to work. I mean, if we all just went to work just to go to work, we would lose our motivation very quickly. But the fact that our jobs support maybe some lifestyle choices that we have, or things that we want, then we've got an emotional connection to achieving the goal and to doing the different things that we've decided to do. So that would be from my Be Balanced program. That would be one of the first goals that I would say, or one of the first things that I would say to people, is have a real emotional connection with what you're trying to achieve. Not just I have to, or somebody said I should, or I should do this, or the doctor told me I had to, or whatever, because having to never made anything happen.
No, there needs to be something, and a lot of the time it can be quite shallow, you know. It can be because you're going on a night out, or you know, it can be
but
just,
if it's important
but
to
if it's important to you, that's the number one thing. End of story.
It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's an important aspect for you. I know there's been quite a bit of talk about school reunions and things like that. And the pressure of those must be
absolutely. You're thinking, how did I look 10, 15, 20 years ago in my uniform, and I want to look like that now. And you know, that they are the ones that will drive people. You know,
those, when we've got a real deep emotional connection with whatever goal we're hoping to achieve, that's where the motivation bit really kicks in, and then everything else becomes easy after that, because it's not about having to do anything. And I suppose one of the other comments that I would often make is that you can eat anything you want, and people often look at me and go, no, you can't. And you're like, no, but you can. It's changing what you want.
It's making the first option better.
Is making what you want is what you want, that's going to support and help your body to be healthy. And I know we've obviously, this is your second visit to Destination Wellbeing, and the last time we talked quite a bit about exercise from sort of the preventing of disease perspective, and for older women as well, and curves hits quite in with that
there's
age
a
bracket.
Massive range. There's a big wide range in curves. Like we've teenagers and we've ladies in their 70s, you know, so there's a big spectrum there.
But the vast majority would hit in and around sort of, or is that changing recently? Or
I do see it balance out more. It depends what's important to you at that time, you know. When curves was first brought around, it probably was sort of hitting the ladies in their 30s, 40s, you know, that had a busy house, you know, busy home kind of thing. But now there's just as many ladies that are retired and want to keep up their exercise, and as many young girls that want to feel good on a Saturday night going to the disco. So it definitely has changed.
I suppose it depends on the time of day too as well.
Oh, absolutely. You live your different
and that's the beauty of long opening hours as well, is that it can be pretty flexible.
We're open from 8 in the morning to 8 at night.
So people can drop in at any time. Regardless of whether the wind and the rain certainly hasn't been affecting it, which is great. And it allows people to have that, you know, whatever time I need to go, I can
fit it in.
I can fit in with exercise. So we'll visit back just on to the food bank that we mentioned at the start. So the idea of the food bank, which, as we've said, is all the food gathered up will stay local, is that rather than pay a joining fee, ladies can...
There's no joining fee, it's being waived. So you literally bring in a bag of groceries instead, and that's you join curves. It seems all a bit random, the food and the curves, but we've been doing it for 10 years now, and it really does work. And we've used all different local charities down through the years. Every year nearly it's somebody different, but they're, you know, so grateful year on year, and the ladies, the members that are coming in and enjoying and bringing in the groceries are so good.
But then as well, I presume if people want to get involved, you become a drop-off type point. So anybody, even whether you want to join, no membership or anything,
absolutely,
you can just
come off and drop them off 100%. That would be definitely well appreciated.
And curves are located, just for anybody that doesn't know and maybe wants to get involved, because this kicks off the end of the week, the start of March. So Saturday is the 1st of March. The curves are located on the Armagh Road in the iTech Business Park. So pretty accessible, and no worrying about car parking or traffic wardens
or parking and everything. No pay parking.
So anybody that needs to drop anything in there, they'll be greatly received.
Really appreciate it. Absolutely.
Well, Brenda, thank you very much for your time, for joining me on Destination Wellbeing this afternoon. And I'll be in with Rowan on Thursday morning on Rowan's morning show, and I know Brenda's joining Rowan as well on Friday morning to head out and to talk to a few more people and reach out to a few more hopefully participants in your food drive.
Our food drive.
Thanks a million, Brenda. And thank you to all our viewers for watching in.